everyone, Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Thank you, as always, for listening to our content. But for more in-depth coverage on the Indiana Hoosiers football, basketball, and recruiting news, go to thehoosier.com on 3. Now with On 3 and great national writers like Ari Wasserman, Andy Staples, and Steve Wiltfong for football. Pete Nakos, Jamie Shaw, and Joe Tipton's constantly breaking stories on the basketball side. And the local coverage from Alec Lasley, Kyler Staley, and Zach Browning. You can catch something new every day at thehoosier.com. Go there. Sign up today.
Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, brought to you by the Hard Truth Distilling Company in Brown County, Indiana.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world.
Three on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game! Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni! Float game for the win! Ayler's gone. Goodbye, touchdown, Indy! Woo! IU! America! They got a football team now!
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, from the Hard Truth Studios, here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company Studios, and very happy to have Conor Enright joining us today, man. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you? Appreciate you having me
Good.
on.
It's our pleasure, man. Thank you for taking the time for joining us. We really appreciate it. I know you're getting ready to matriculate down to Bloomington in June, so you can come in. Where are you now?
I'm living in Chicago right now, just in the city where I was at from DePaul, but I'm pretty close to home, so I go back and forth a little bit.
Not very far away. You can catch us on WJOB up there.
Yeah.
There you go. So what was it about Indiana? I know you've been asked these things 1,000 times, but what was it about Indiana? Because you committed back when the roster wasn't full, and it's not completely full yet, but it's a lot more on there now. But you were one of the guys that made a decision to come to Indiana and follow Darren DeVries. What was it that it came to all of that?
Yeah, I guess it was a combination of two things. One, just I've been a fan of Indiana since I was like 15, so having that opportunity to come play there, a school that I really like. And then Coach DeVries, I just completely trust him, what he can do, what he's going to build, how he coaches. So the combination of those two things.
So you said you're a fan of Indiana up in the Chicago area, which Chicago is home to, I think, it's the second largest city in America of Indiana alums. So that makes some understanding there. But when did you start following Indiana basketball?
My brother, actually, he went there. He graduated 3 years ago. So when he went there, I kind of started following a little bit more, and been a fan ever since.
Oh, that's very cool. So you've already got a brother. That'd be weird for the family now to have two graduates, unintended graduates from IU. I can't remember.
Cool.
Do you have a year left, or is this your last season?
This is my last season. I got this one coming up, and then we'll see. If the NCAA just gives out more, then you never know. But just one for now.
Well, we just saw that. There's two former Hoosiers that are trying to get that extra year, but we'll talk about that later. More about you. You come in from DePaul and are known as a facilitator, man, a guy that has a high assist rate. And what about is getting the ball to guys to score? Is that something that you prefer to do, you like to do, or is that just how it's worked out? I know being a point guard, it's your job, but to be good at it, you have to like what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather celebrate other dudes getting buckets than myself, but I think that's just kind of always the way I've been wired, always the way I've played. I've been fortunate to play with some really good players at DePaul and Drake, so I think having scores around me has definitely helped. But yeah, it's something that just been a part of my game always.
Now, obviously, having come from Drake, there's some familiarity with Darren DeVries. and I'm sure that played a huge part in it. What is it about Darren DeVries, his coaching style that you like for your game?
I think he's a lot about toughness, which is a big part of my game. And I think whether it's in practice or games, he's extremely detailed. And that's just something that that's the way I'm wired a little bit too. Like I need to know the little nuances and steps of everything. And I think that's just the way he coaches. So I think it's a good fit there. And obviously, I've seen what he did at Drake. So I've seen it firsthand. So I can attest that we're gonna be a good team when we come to Indiana.
And what is it about you mentioned toughness, which is always important no matter what, because there's just whether it's coming time for a game that comes down to the wire and you just have to be mentally tough or physically tough. But when you say toughness, what is it that he demands that gets the teams to that point?
It's in practice. He makes practice high intensity, upbeat and just nonstop all the time. He demands, competitiveness all the time. So giving it your all pretty much, and then obviously mentally, staying strong in those moments when you're down 8 and you gotta rally and come back, not just giving up. So I think he makes practice very hard and puts you in uncomfortable situations that lead us to kind of create net toughness one way or the other.
How's the shoulder? I know you come off of whoops, wrong one. I know you went through a shoulder injury last year that cost you some games. How's that?
It's doing good. I've been shooting, lifting, working out a little bit more. But yeah, it's feeling good. It's on the right track. Should be participating in a lot of stuff this summer as well.
And that gets going in June. I know I've talked to Josh Harris has been on with us, and I talked Prince Sisley. We talked to quite a bit as well. But how many are any of the guys on this team guys that you've known, played with prior to this, have a relationship with?
Well, Tucker, just obviously because at Drake, 3 years together. I know who Reed Bailey is just a little bit because one of my buddies and teammates here, David Skogman, played with him at Davidson. But no, other than that, I actually haven't met any of the dudes. Obviously, I know Leo and Goody are trying to get waivers. Watched them a little bit since I watched Indiana, but no, I actually don't.
And talk about Tucker DeVries, playing with him and getting to do that again. Having done that previously, that has to be very comforting, especially as a point guard. He's a wing, as you're getting the ball to him. But what's it like playing with him? What does he bring to the team?
Yeah, he kind of draws. He has a magnitude to him where he draws a lot of defenders, a lot of attention. It's nice. I know what kind of spots he likes and where he likes the ball and whatnot. And he definitely helps me out too. I think I'm a great catch and shoot 3-point shooter, so he draws a lot of attention and can get me some open shots as well. But he's just he's kind of always in the right spots defensively and offensively, and he can make some big ones.
Now, have you paid attention to the guys that have signed on to the IU team, and anybody stuck out that you know of that they've played, even though you haven't played or known these guys, but I know you've probably done some research. But anybody stuck out? You're like, oh man, I'm looking forward to playing with this guy. I think this will play really well off of what I do.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with it for sure. One guy, just because he's a point guard, is Tatum Conaway. I think we could play really well together. Drake played with multiple guards at times, but I just seen that he loves playing defense. He's a great defender, so I'm excited to do that and play defense with him. But all the guys, that we got, whatever it's 1 through 12 or 11, I'm not even sure right now the number, but I think we all got a big chance to contribute in a big way.
Yeah, it's very enlightening to hear somebody say, "I cannot wait to play defensively with somebody." That will probably be music to fans' ears. But yeah, that is not something you normally hear. Everyone's wanting to go the other way, but defense is the key, man.
Yep.
Defensive teams win a lot. How important is defense to you? Do you take it personally as something, hey, man, this is something I'm going to stop my guy. I've got to work on my guy along with helping out whomever?
Yeah, I think, personally, yes, stopping my guy. But, I feel like when the whole team's locked in on it and playing defense, it just makes the game offensively a lot easier because you can get up and down in transition. But I don't know, something about getting stops together is it's pretty cool when you're doing it as a squad. So I think, that's what we could build over this summer, that camaraderie about, defense can win some championships.
Absolutely. And how does that lead into the style of offense that Darren DeVries that we expect to see, which we expect to see a lot of shooting, a lot of ball movement, and the ball getting up and down the floor frequently?
Yeah, so obviously, you get stops that leads to fast breaking. You don't have to set up in the half court. I think we're opportunistic when we run. But yeah, I think the way the roster's been built with a lot of skill, a lot of shooting, I think it'll be a fun floor-spaced offense that we can get a lot of good shots. And I think as long as we all buy into that, I think we'll be a great team offensively as well.
And I know the fan base is they're starving for a hungry winning team that plays with grit and determination and all the things that we've been hearing. It sounds like that the guys that are coming in like yourself, when you talk about defense first, like I said, that's unusual. It's very refreshing, but you don't usually hear that. And I know the fans are going to eat that up and love that, because they want a team that plays hard. They want a team that they know is playing to win. There's a lot of them. The older fans spoiled the Bob Knight days.
Yeah.
When Indiana was just a juggernaut, and they want to return to that. But it starts and ends with defense, in addition to having good offense. But to hear a player talk like that, I know is very, very refreshing. How important is defense to Coach DeVries?
I think it's very important. I think, just the way that when I was recruited out of high school to Drake, I just kind of realized that. That's why I thought I would fit him. But, like I said before, he's all about toughness. So that's part of the reason that I just completely trusted him being one of those first recruits, because I know he's going to recruit guys that are going to buy into that, be tough, be gritty, and just listen completely to what he has to say. And yeah, I just knew you built a team that would have all those qualities.
When you have a team coming in like this with all new players, virtually, we'll put Anthony and Luke aside right now, but basically all new players. Where does leadership come from? How do you develop the leadership? Who's going to be? Is there a guy, more than one guy? How is that going to work, do you think?
Yeah, so I've seen we've got a decent amount of older guys, which definitely helps. I think it kind of forms just through practice. Some dudes are more leaders just through, I guess, their actions and the way they're playing. Obviously, we'll figure that out when we start playing, and some are more vocal. I know myself and Tucker, obviously, just because I've seen us in person. I'm not sure about the other guys. Can definitely lead. So I think it'll just be opportunistic. There won't be one guy all the time, but I think with all these older guys, different guys can step up, and there'll be definitely a lot of people to look to.
Conor Enright with me right now, the DePaul transfer, a new Hoosier basketball player, one of, like you said, how many are they up to now? 11?
I think 11, maybe 12. I'm not sure.
I've got to go back and get my scorecard out and look and see. But, and looking forward to next season. How have you spoken? I know you guys are on a text chain together, but you probably haven't met all these guys yet, even on like a Zoom call or anything, have you?
No, I saw Lamar talking on a Twitter thing with someone when he committed. That was the only time I've seen him. But that's just the text chain, and that's about it. I think we're all just waiting to get down there to start hanging out and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. It's like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. All right, how are you doing? All right, now let's get this thing going.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, is that going to be weird? Because I know that you moved to school once before, right?
Yeah, from Drake to DePaul when Coach DeVries left.
But this is a whole different situation, because when you went to DePaul, it was not a complete rebuild, right?
No, they had a whole new staff, whole new team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the exact
you're
same
used
thing.
to this. Then
then
that should help you, I would imagine. You're used to going through this before.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, at Drake, my last year, I think we had 10 new guys as well. That last year I was there. Not a whole new staff, but it was similar.
So what's that like, having gone through that? What is the process of, all right, you're meeting and you've got to gel this team together. You're obviously, you start playing in June this time when you come around, but you've done this before. What is the process of getting the team together to be one?
Yeah, on the court, I think you have to be patient. It's obviously not going to look very smooth and awesome chemistry right away in June. So I think it's being patient in that aspect. And then off the court, like my biggest thing I think is you got to hang out as much as you can as a team. Like the more you get to know guys and just like guys on and off the court, the better you're going to play together. So I think the closest teams that I've had in my career, I think those are the teams that were the best playing together. So I think just spending time.
I don't think I've ever had a player come out and say that and talk about that specifically. Talk about because I know that there's always things that are done for that bonding. There's a trip coming up for the basketball team in the fall as well. They're going to go on a trip down to Puerto Rico, I understand, and so that should be fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know who all they're going to be playing yet. But just getting away, getting on a place like that, and I think this probably will be something the fans are able to go to as well. So that'll be the kind of an indoctrination. What about when you came into Assembly Hall? Had you been in there before?
Yeah, I went to one game when I was like 16. I can't remember who they played though, but they definitely won. I remember that.
So you've been there as a fan. What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. But honestly, when I visited and it was completely empty, I kind of got the chills a little bit more when it was empty. I was like, but at both times it was sweet.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple of the guys that we've had on so far. That it just you walk in and it's like maybe it is being empty. And I've been in there so many times, but it's like maybe it is when you're empty and you're walking in. It's like it's kind of daunting.
Yeah, you can like kind of envision too. Like obviously, I've been to a game, so I've seen it packed, but you can envision just like the crowd roar, and it's a little intimidating when you're in there when it's empty, but it's exciting because just seeing yourself being able to play there.
Yeah, what do you think about playing in that noise, man?
I think it'd be awesome. I've played in some big loud arenas before, but I think it'll be cool every night. Having those fans cheering for you it'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have them on your side than the opposite.
No doubt.
A lot of these the few guys that I have been able to talk to is they're looking forward to everyone seems to be aware. Indiana is a great program with a great tradition. They just haven't been where they want to be for too long and where they should be. But it seems like these guys are committed to trying to turn that around. And I find that kind of positively amazing that they're knowledgeable about that is in their minds.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the goal every season for every NCAA team is to win a championship. We're going to take it one day, one practice, one game at a time. But I think, acknowledging that the fact that Indiana's been an awesome program, and I think we want to be a part of one of those teams that gets to that level too. So I think it's an important goal for all of us.
Yeah, or I was reading some. It would be amazing to see, and I know that because we saw this happen unbelievably in football at Indiana a year ago. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but the football program was a walking corpse. It was one of the worst programs in Division I, and that turnaround was remarkable. And they can get basketball going now. Indiana would just be it would be a buzzing place.
Yeah,
but yeah, and I know that the fans are looking forward to this. They're excited about this team coming in. They're excited about Darren DeVries and all the assistants that have come in. Do you have any familiarity with any of the assistant coaches?
Yes, actually, Coach Drew and Coach Mike Bargan, they were previously at Bradley before some point in their career, so played against them a little bit, beat them up a little bit. Coach Nick Norton as well was with me at Drake. We got some other guys as well that I've known too.
How important is this, at least having somewhat of a relationship with those guys? How much easier does it make to start with the process of the growth of this team?
Oh, it's awesome. It's familiarity it's and comfortability is not very nice. Going to a new place. And then I think knowing the staff and some of those guys a little bit and in drills and in practice can be a demonstration and a leader and show what they want and the standard that needs to be set. So I think it'll be big for the team and for myself as well.
Standards is something that we really learned about again last year under Kurt Signetti. He talked about that a lot, playing to a standard. And I don't know that we had that in basketball for a few years. And so that's obviously very important. But do the players do they adhere to that as in their minds? Say, hey, man, this is the standard. This is where we have to be night in, night out.
Yeah, I think obviously everyone views it to a certain extent differently, but I think so. I think when there's complete buy-in, at the end of the summer, it's different points for different guys, but I think that's what makes a championship level team and then a really good team is when they're like, yeah, I got to play this every night. So I think that's the goal of getting everyone to play at that level.
Of the guys that are currently on the roster now, who are you most excited to play with as far as since you're more of a facilitator, point guard, you're going to be getting the ball out. And I know you already have some familiarity with Tucker DeVries. We know he's a great knockdown shooter and a great wing. Who are some of the other guys that you're really excited to play with? Not that you're not excited to play with all of them. I get that.
Yeah. Obviously, it looks like I don't have a guy on the court who can't shoot a three. So in that sense, everybody. But I'm excited to play with some of the bigs. Josh, Reed, and Sam. They can catch some lobs. This past year, I actually was throwing a lot of lobs. Had a lot of lob threats at DePaul. So if either of those three can get up there, then in that pick and roll, then I'd definitely love to play with them a little bit.
Yeah, the statement you made. Say that again. About the threes.
Oh yeah, pretty much everybody on the team can shoot threes, so I don't really have to.
Well, you don't know when you said that right there, right there. I guarantee you, every listener's ears just pinged because that used to be the case at Indiana, and it just hasn't been for a while. So that is going to be a very refreshing thing for people to see. But they want a team. I can tell you from doing this long enough, they want a team that plays their ass off, that will do the things that they need to do, diving for loose balls, whatever, but can shoot the ball as well, because if you can't shoot the ball, you're not going to do very well. But playing defense and being scrappy, all of those things, and it sounds like and it looks like this is the kind of team that Darren DeVries is putting together to do those exact things.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, you're not going to shoot 50+%, 40+% from three every night. So you got to have other things like defense and getting offensive rebounds and stuff like that to make up for when you don't shoot it as good. So I think we're going to be a very well-rounded team.
And the goal obviously is to win,
Yes.
and to set high standards when you come in. The Big Ten, not an easy place to win. And you've got teams like Purdue and Michigan specifically who kind of just had to reload a little bit. They were set and they just needed to add some pieces, and they did. Purdue is being picked by many to be the number one preseason team in the country next year. Michigan, I think Michigan will be just as good than Purdue. Illinois, Brad Underwood always pulls magic out of his hat. He just landed Stojakovic. So it's always going to be a fun battles in the Big Ten. How forward are you looking to playing all those teams, playing against Tom Izzo and people like that?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've grown up watching Big Ten basketball. I keep up with it now. I got a lot of family members too that went to different select Big Ten schools that were not Indiana, so I got to talk some smack to them. But a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players. I'm excited for the challenge of it being hard every night. There's no off nights in the Big Ten. I just wish we could play everybody twice. So I know that'd be like whatever 30-something games, but that's the only thing. But yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it is. With 18 teams, the schedule is a little wonky. You play a certain set of them on the road, certain set of them at home, and then only 3 teams do you play home and home. Purdue, one of those teams. Michigan State. The other, however, you do get Sparty up in East Lansing, and then I forget who the other one was, like
Minnesota.
Northwestern or some Minnesota.
Yep.
There you go. Look at you already got the schedule.
Yeah,
I love that.
I got it in my head.
So have you already been looking at the teams, doing a little scouting for yourself?
Yeah, I've been keeping track of the transfer portal and who goes to where, just whether it's because of friends or obviously Big Ten, seeing who I'm playing against. So yeah, I've been keeping track a little bit.
What any team standing out to you?
The ones you said are, they're going to be really strong. I don't think there's going to be any really weak teams in the Big Ten. Yeah, but no, nothing. I mean, the ones that my cousins are fans of are standing out to me the most, I guess, because they're talking the most smack. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and so what are you looking forward to most about getting started, getting here in June?
Just the grind of the summer. It'll be my last year, just appreciating summer a little more. Summer's tough. Workouts, camps, hard lifts, conditioning, but just like meeting the team, I guess, and getting to know the guys. I just hopefully we can get pretty close, have some fun this summer, and get better as a team, and then take it to the next level when we start in the fall.
I don't want to blow smoke, but you're sounding a lot like a leader to me, because you're wanting to do the greasy, dirty, grimy stuff that you keep talking about, playing defense, getting through these summer workouts, which are brutal, which are no fun whatsoever. That's the hardest thing, is going through that stuff. You're like, bring the season on, please.
Yeah.
The season is a breeze compared to what you do leading up to it. It's just like I remember in football. It's like, man, can we get through this stuff and get to the games? Because that's when it becomes easy. Normal practice is a lot easier than what you're going to be going through this summer. But you're talking about embracing all of the harder parts of it, which leads you to the success that you're trying to get. So very leadership quality sounding like there, man.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like, since I've had winning seasons before with Drake, and it's just like, you look back at those seasons you won, like you did a lot of hard stuff that sucked and you hated it. But look back, and that's probably why we won games that, we were down in, or we weren't playing great, or, we're tired and we're gassed. So I just think it's, I don't know, like obviously no one wants to have to know that you're going through all that hard stuff, but you do it and you're better for it. So I don't know. I think that's my view on it. And then being in my last year, got to appreciate the summer.
Man, I think you're going to be a fan favorite. I really do. I just your attitude, you're just seriously, it comes through. It is very palpable. I mean that because
thank you.
I've talked to a lot of different people. A lot of them are just shy or whatever, and stuff.
Yeah.
You're very comfortable doing this. You're very comfortable talking, but you're also very enlightened in the things that you're saying. So. Hey, that's just those are the things that go into making a leader. I'm just saying, man, just throwing it out there.
I like to hear it.
Hey, it breeds itself, and I hope that we'll maybe try to get you on one more time before you get locked down in June, because you've been so good. We'll try to do this again, but yeah, come June, you guys are on lockdown. I can't reach out to you.
I got you.
But man, it has been an absolute pleasure, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time and how much fun it was getting to talk to you today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, anytime. It was awesome just talking ball. So it was a good time for me, and I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Who's the Big Ten teams that you're looking at getting after?
Oh,
Purdue.
Obviously Purdue. Yeah.
How did you learn so quickly that boom, that's the one, boom? Because all these guys are new. No one really knows. You just seem to be a little bit more knowledgeable about what's going on.
Yeah. I think maybe the first semester my brother came home from college in 2020.
Oh yeah, I forgot your brother was there.
Yeah, he came home and he's like, I hate Purdue. And I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense. And one of my closest friends, she played soccer at Purdue, so I've been talking smack to her too now that I'm going to Indiana. So yeah, just understand the rivalry.
Well, good deal, man. Conor Enright, I cannot thank you enough, brother. You are great, and I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you. You have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Conor Enright joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. What a fun time that was. Man, he is a very, very intelligent sounding, smart, well-spoken man. Hey, we've got lots more coming up from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios. Hello, everyone. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Thank you, as always, for listening to our content. But for more in-depth coverage on the Indiana Hoosiers football, basketball, and recruiting news, go to thehoosier.com on 3. Now with On 3 and great national writers like Ari Wasserman, Andy Staples, and Steve Wiltfong for football. Pete Nakos, J.B. Shaw, and Joe Tipton's constantly breaking stories on the basketball side. And the local coverage from Alec Lasley, Kyler Staley, and Zach Browning. You can catch something new every day at thehoosier.com. Go there. Sign up today.